Okay, for my final unit, Unit 4, I chose the theme plants, and not necessarily just like flower plants or plants, but kind of like planting and growing things. Um, and so, yes, it's for 4th grade. Um, we'll just start with social studies. So, for this, I wanted to focus on historical changes within farming. And I just think it would be fun, especially just now. I kind of thought of it just because of planting season. Um, so I'll show them a YouTube video um, and talk to them about just where how things changed back to when they had to do it by hand, and then they used horses with plows, and then now we have big tractors that they can like record their map or show their plot of land, and then it can just go based off of GPS. So I think it's pretty amazing where agriculture has gone, and even more amazing to think about where it's going. And so students are just going to create a timeline that documents the major changes and turning points in agriculture. And then on the back of their timelines, they're going to write a prediction, and that prediction will be where they think agriculture is going to go next, what's going to be the next major turning point. And then those are just the standards I chose that I believe match up with this topic. So I think it'd be fun for them to just see how plows behind horses and then tractors and all of that changed farming, and then it'll be cool to see their predictions of where they believe it's going to go next. So for language arts, I have I'm kind of using what they're going to write on the back of their timelines as the language arts activities. So students are going to write predictions about where they believe the future of farming is going and why. This is cross-curricular because it goes right into social studies and that. I think it's a fine arts because it's composition and creative thinking, and any answer, spelling error, any answer that they write could be right. So yeah, and it'll just be kind of talking about, I'll read a story, and I haven't been able to find a book that like talks about agriculture and how it's changed, but I'll be interested. I could make my own, like make a PowerPoint, any little story just to get the students thinking about what's coming next. And so yeah, it's an add-on, and so students will just write a few paragraphs about where they believe it's going and why, and that's just how they will be graded also, is because any answer that they choose could be correct. So very open. Next for drama, this goes hand in hand with what I have them doing just kind of in general for this unit, but it's a little different. Hopefully it's okay, but it's their participation in classroom economy activity, which I probably should have started with, but so basically just to start this like activity or part of the unit, I'll just ask students like how they think people behave when selling something, and like do they act sad, uninterested, bored, or like are they expressive, are they enthusiastic, are they happy, are they glad that you found everything you wanted in Hy-Vee or whatever. So I think that's cool for them to be able to think about, like, yeah, gosh, like they have real lives, but they're happy when we see them, hopefully. And getting to think about, like, regardless of their feelings, they can choose to be happy. So that would just be their activity, is when they do participate in our classroom activity and they are selling their product that they chose to create, that they're being expressive and they're being happy and they're being interested in their customers. And so that will just be how they're assessed, is by participating. And this relates to, science, math, music, art, just because it's all a unit. And then for fine arts, acting definitely is a fine arts element. And so although they're not like creating a skit, but they're just thinking about their actions and how they're trying to portray they feel. For art, I'm going to have them draw their product, and once we get to the math and science parts, it'll make more sense if you haven't already like rummaged through this, but they're going to they chose a product to sell, and then they're going to draw a picture of that. And so I'll just explain to students that they must draw and color what they think that their product, plant, or whatever they choose to create from their plant will look like when it's fully grown or fully produced. And so they must incorporate a color scheme of their choice. And so maybe a group of students would choose to grow tomatoes or grow basil or grow whatever. They could make a pizza out of that. And obviously not everything would be there, but they could start, and then the rest could be provided. And then students will just be assessed on if they drew their picture or not. So it's fine arts because it's drawing and coloring and incorporating a color scheme, or just incorporating certain colors. And then it relates to science, as they're drawing their plant or their product of the plant that they chose, whether it's tomato or basil or whatever. So yeah, that was the fine arts element. For music, this is probably like my favorite idea. Students will choose, in their groups, they would choose a song to represent their company. So just to introduce this, I would introduce Coca-Cola's theme song, and then I would have them thinking about what they want their store and or company to, what message do they want to give their customers, and why do they think this is catchy. And so then they would go to GarageBand and create this, which is the fine arts element right there, by making and composing their theme song, incorporating beat and rhythm and voice into their songs. So I think that would just be a really fun activity to see kids do and like see their little lyrics that they come up with. For science, students get to pick planting trees or flowers or veggies, whatever they want to do. And so this is kind of like the whole center of my unit, so I should have started here, I'm sorry. And so it goes hand in hand with everything else, just to get like students thinking about how do farmers choose to plant corn. Well, corn's obviously a very high value crop, and it can, it gives us food, ethanol. There's just a lot of things that can come from corn. And so I want students to start thinking about what they want to plant and why. So is it going to be a tree? What are they going to get out of a tree? Can someone come buy it and plant it in their backyard? Or flowers, same kind of idea. Or veggies, can they make something out of it? Or can they have a garden? Just anything like that. Can they grow strawberries and sell smoothies? Whatever they want to do. But they have to have a reason for this. And so yeah, that will just be the introduction, is like, how do farmers decide what they're going to plant? Obviously, that's a little easier question for farmers because they probably grow the same thing every year, but kind of the same idea. And then so students will learn about how a plant grows and what do they have that helps them survive, and how do these things help humans survive? Well, that's food for us to eat. So it's just kind of cool how full circle that comes. And students will just be assessed by their plant, and not if it grows, because obviously that would be kind of hard, but just if the reason they chose that plant was legit or not. And so tomato, basil plant, whatever they wanted to choose, fruits, whatever. So that was just my little pictures there. Okay, and so in math, this is the classroom economy activity, and so basically students will play an app called Motion Math Pizza, and so in this game, students run a pizza shop, and they choose where they buy their ingredients and how much they sell their pizzas for and what kinds of pizzas they sell, and then they have customers come in, and they have to quickly add and multiply and serve their customers. So it's a really cool a game that gets students thinking about profit. And so then students will do something similar with their plants or whatever they chose to make to sell. And so those kind of set up their own little storefront with our group, and be practicing like counting money and trying to make a profit of whatever their plant or item cost them in the beginning. And so kind of the same idea of making profit and working with money, being able to work with people, and kind of see that connection between all the other units. And then this is the big day of selling their product and being able to count their money and work with the money and do those quick operations and stuff. So I think that's my unit. I think it'd be really fun. Definitely just very hands-on, and I like the idea of all the kids coming together and having to sell something and kind of have that pride in their work. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my Unit 4.